Listen, I delivered the global broadcast that broke the silence of the United Nations. Listen to me, Antonio Guterres. I walked through your marble halls, past your flags of diplomatic theater, past your whispers of global order, and stood at the podium where empires once dictated the fate of nations. I looked your assembled powers in the eye, and I told them what none of you were ready to hear. Africa will never kneel again. Not to you, not to your Western masters. That age of submission is over, and what I declared will undo the very architecture of your control. Let me tell you exactly what happened. I received your invitation 3 months ago. Mr. President, the UN requests your address to General Assembly, standard diplomatic language, polite request, expected protocol. I read it, smiled. Knew exactly what you wanted. Damage control. You watched me dismantle Western influence across Africa. Watched me destroy IMF control over our economies. Unite nations you spent decades keeping divided. You panicked. Thought bringing me to the UN would contain the situation. Thought global platform would moderate my message. I thought the international audience would soften my stance. You were catastrophically wrong. I accepted immediately, not because you asked politely, because I had message for entire world, message that needed global stage, message that would shatter every assumption about Africa's place in international order. I arrived in New York, no advanced security team, protocol coordination, just me, my intelligence chief, my military advisor, 3 people, walking into your headquarters. Your security tried standard procedures. Mr. President, we need advance notice for protection detail. I looked at them directly. I protected myself through 3 coup attempts. I don't need your security. They stepped aside. I walked through your building, saw your flags, 54 African nations represented, flags hanging like decorations, symbols without power, representation without voice. That ends today. Your Secretary General met me personally, extended hand, diplomatic smile. President Traoré, we're honored by your presence. I shook his hand, held his gaze. You'll remember this day, everyone will. He looked confused, didn't understand yet, would understand soon. General Assembly convened. 193 nations assembled, diplomats from every continent, media from every major outlet, cameras broadcasting globally. Everyone expecting standard diplomatic address, careful language, measured statements, diplomatic protocol. They got something completely different. I walked to podium. No prepared speech, no diplomatic notes, no carefully crafted remarks, just me, my message, my truth. I began. I, Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso, military officer who fought for African liberation, leader who united African nations. And I'm here to announce the end of your control over Africa, permanent end, total end, absolute end. The room went silent. Diplomats stopped talking, cameras focused, everyone listening. For 70 years, you controlled us through debt, IMF loans that enslaved our economies, World Bank programs that destroyed our industries, structural adjustment that devastated our societies. You called it development assistance. We call it economic colonialism. That system ends today. I displayed first document, IMF loan agreements, 60 African nations, combined debt, $696 billion, interest rates, 4 to 7%. Conditions attached, 847 structural requirements. Every loan designed to maintain dependency, agreement crafted to prevent independence, and every condition structured to ensure control. This is how you enslaved us. Loans we couldn't refuse, debt we couldn't repay, conditions we couldn't meet, permanent dependency you designed deliberately. Economic colonialism you maintained systematically. Control you exercised continuously. For 70 years. I showed the consequences. African nations spending 40% of government revenue on debt service, schools unfunded because debt payments prioritized, hospitals closed because IMF demanded austerity, infrastructure crumbling because World Bank required budget cuts, economies destroyed because structural adjustment eliminated protections. You bankrupted our nations through your loans, impoverished our people through your conditions, destroyed our economies through your programs, maintained our dependency through your system. For 70 years, deliberately, systematically, continuously. Second document displayed, debt payment records. African nations paid $1.8 trillion in debt service over 30 years. Original loans, $400 billion. We paid back 4.5 times what we borrowed, still owe $696 billion, still classified as debtors, still treated as dependents. We paid everything back, multiple times, still owe more than original amount, still classified as poor, still treated as inferior. Your debt system isn't economics, it's theft. Systematic theft, permanent theft, designed theft. I revealed the mechanism. IMF loans carry interest. Interest compounds annually. Debt grows faster than payments. Repayment becomes impossible. Dependency becomes permanent. Control becomes absolute. Designed this way, intended this way, maintained this way. You design system where we can never escape, never repay completely, never achieve independence, never gain freedom, permanent debt, permanent dependency, permanent control. This was never about development, always about domination, economic domination, permanent domination, absolute domination. Then I announced what changes everything. I declare today, Africa rejects your debt completely, all IMF loans, all World Bank obligations, all Western lending, rejected totally, repudiated permanently, eliminated absolutely. We owe you nothing. We pay you nothing. We accept your control never again. The room erupted. Diplomats shouting, cameras flashing, media reporting frantically, everyone reacting simultaneously. I continued over the chaos. 54 African nations coordinated this decision, alliance members unified completely, continental agreement achieved totally. We reject your debt, all of it, every loan, every obligation, every condition, gone, eliminated, finished, forever. I displayed the declaration, signed by 54 African presidents, joint statement, unified position, continental rejection, $696 billion in IMF debt, repudiated. $340 billion in World Bank loans, rejected. $890 billion in Western bilateral lending, eliminated. Total debt rejection, $1.926 trillion, effective immediately. Permanent completely, final absolutely. Western diplomats went pale. IMF representatives looked shocked. World Bank officials sat frozen, everyone understanding implications instantly. You claim this violates international law. We claim your debt system violates human rights. You claim this destroys credit ratings. We claim your ratings destroyed our economies. You claim this ends development assistance. We claim your assistance enslaved our nations. You claim consequences will be severe. We claim freedom is worth any cost. I revealed what we built instead. African Monetary Union, continental currency, gold-backed system, no Western involvement, no IMF oversight, no World Bank control, complete independence, total sovereignty, absolute freedom. We created our own currency, backed by our own gold, controlled by our own central bank, managed by our own economists, serving our own interests, no Western interference, no IMF conditions, no World Bank requirements, our money, our control, our future. I showed the gold reserves. African nations hold 4,067 tons of gold, current value $340 billion, sufficient backing for continental currency, more than enough for monetary independence, complete foundation for economic sovereignty. We have resources, we have gold, we have wealth. We don't need your loans, don't need your assistance, don't need your control. We have everything required for independence, everything needed for sovereignty, everything necessary for freedom. Then I detailed the new system. African Central Bank established, headquarters in Accra, capital $50 billion, contributed by member nations, no Western participation, no IMF involvement, no World Bank oversight, purely African, completely independent, totally sovereign. Our central bank issues our currency, manages our monetary policy, controls our interest rates, regulates our banking system, serves our economies. No Western interference, no IMF dictation, no World Bank manipulation. Our institution, our control, our sovereignty. Continental currency launched simultaneously. African gold dinar, backed by gold reserves, convertible freely, accepted universally across member nations, replacing Western currencies. Eliminating dollar dependency, ending euro control. We trade in our own currency now, buy from each other in dinars, sell to each other in dinars, invest in each other in dinars, No dollars needed, no euros required, no Western currencies involved. Our money, our trade, our economy. I revealed trade agreements, 54 nations committed, intra-African trade conducted exclusively in dinars, natural resources priced in dinars, manufactured goods sold in dinars, services paid in dinars, complete currency independence, total monetary sovereignty, absolute economic freedom. We control our own trade now, price our own resources, value our own goods, manage our own commerce, no Western manipulation, no currency speculation, no exchange rate exploitation, our trade, our prices, our wealth. Then I announced resource nationalization, all African natural resources under national control, all mining operations nationalized, all oil extraction nationalized, all mineral wealth nationalized, complete resource sovereignty, total national ownership, absolute state control. Your corporations exploited our resources for centuries, extracted our wealth for generations, impoverished our nations for decades. That ends permanently. We nationalize everything, control everything, own everything, our resources, our wealth, our future. I showed the numbers. Western corporations extracted $2.3 trillion in African resources over 50 years, paid $340 billion in royalties, kept $1.96 trillion in profits, 85% extraction rate, 15% compensation rate, systematic theft, permanent exploitation, absolute robbery. You stole $1.96 trillion from us, called it business, called it investment, called it development. We call it theft, systematic theft, permanent theft, criminal theft. That ends today. We take back everything, control everything, own everything, permanently. Nationalization executed simultaneously. 54 nations, coordinated action, unified timing. Every Western mining operation nationalized. Every oil extraction facility nationalized. Every mineral processing plant nationalized. Every resource operation nationalized. Complete takeover. Total control. Absolute ownership. We seized your operations this morning. Every facility, every mine, every well, every plant, everything. Military forces secured everything. Government officials took control. National ownership established. Your exploitation ended. Our sovereignty began permanently. Western corporations responded predictably. Threats of lawsuits, demands for compensation, appeals to international law, pressure through diplomatic channels, economic threats, political pressure. Everything expected. Nothing effective. You threaten lawsuits. We reject international courts. You demand compensation. We demand reparations for centuries of theft. You appeal to law. We appeal to justice. You pressure diplomatically. We respond militarily. You threaten economically. We act independently. Your threats mean nothing. Your pressure achieves nothing. Your actions change nothing. We own our resources now, permanently. Absolutely. Finally, I revealed reparations calculation. Western nations owe Africa for colonialism. Slavery, $12 trillion. Colonial extraction, $8 trillion. Post-colonial exploitation, $4 trillion. Debt servitude, $2 trillion. Total, $26 trillion. This is what you owe us. This is what justice requires. This is what history demands. We don't owe you $696 billion. You owe us $26 trillion. We don't need your debt forgiveness. You need our historical forgiveness. We don't require your assistance. You require our resources, power dynamic reversed, relationship transformed, reality corrected, permanently. Then I addressed military sovereignty. All Western military bases in Africa closed, all foreign troops expelled, all security agreements terminated. Complete military independence, total defense sovereignty, absolute security control. Your military bases maintained your control. Your troops enforced your interests. Your agreements protected your exploitation. That ends today. We close every base, expel every soldier, terminate every agreement. Our security, our defense, our sovereignty. I showed the operations, coordinated military action, 54 nations, simultaneous execution, every U.S. base surrounded, Every French installation secured. Every British facility occupied. Every Western presence eliminated. Complete military takeover. Total security control. Absolute sovereignty established. We surrounded your bases, gave you 12 hours to evacuate. Peaceful withdrawal or forced removal. Your choice. Most chose peaceful. Some required force. All left. Every soldier. Every officer. Every operative. Gone. Expelled. Eliminated. Permanently. U.S. Africa Command evacuated from Djibouti. French forces withdrawn from Sahel. British troops removed from Kenya. Every Western military presence terminated. Every foreign base closed. Every security agreement ended. Complete military independence. Total defense sovereignty. Absolute security freedom. Your military presence maintained your control for decades, protected your interests for generations, enforced your exploitation for centuries. That control ends today. That presence terminates now. That enforcement stops permanently. Our continent, our security, our sovereignty. I revealed African Defense Alliance, continental military cooperation, unified command structure, coordinated operations, combined forces, 2.4 million soldiers, shared intelligence, joint training, collective security, no Western involvement, no foreign control, no external interference. We defend ourselves now, protect ourselves completely, secure ourselves totally, our military, our command, our operations, no Western advisors, no foreign trainers, no external controllers, complete independence, total sovereignty, absolute freedom. Then I address technological independence. All Western technology companies restricted, all data centers nationalized, all telecommunications controlled, complete technological sovereignty, total digital independence, absolute information control. You controlled our communications through your technology, monitored our data through your servers, influenced our populations through your platforms. That ends today. We nationalize everything. Control everything, own everything, our technology, our data, our communications. African Technology Initiative launched. Continental Internet infrastructure, independent satellite systems, sovereign data centers, no Western technology, no foreign servers, no external control. Complete digital independence, total technological sovereignty, absolute information freedom. We built our own internet infrastructure, launched our own satellites, established our own data centers, no Western technology involved, no foreign control possible, no external monitoring allowed. Our infrastructure, our technology, our sovereignty. I showed the investment. $120 billion committed, 54 nations contributing, continental technology development, indigenous innovation, African engineering, no Western involvement, no foreign assistance, no external dependency, complete technological independence, total innovation sovereignty, absolute development freedom. We invest in ourselves now, develop our own technology, train our own engineers, build our own systems, no Western corporations, no foreign companies, no external contractors, our investment, our development, our future. Then I revealed education transformation, all Western educational models rejected, all foreign curricula eliminated, all external standards terminated, complete educational sovereignty, total academic independence, absolute learning freedom. You controlled our minds through your education, taught us your history, imposed your values, shaped our thinking. That ends today. We teach our own history, promote our own values, shape our own future, our education, our curriculum, our standards. African Education Alliance established, continental academic cooperation, unified standards, shared resources, indigenous knowledge prioritized, African history centered, local languages emphasized, no Western models, no foreign curricula, no external standards, complete educational independence, total academic sovereignty, absolute learning freedom. We educate our children in our own way now, teach them our own history, instill our own values, prepare them for our own future. No Western influence, no foreign interference, no external control. Our education, our children, our future. I showed the transformation. New universities built, African professors teaching, indigenous knowledge preserved, local languages used, continental history taught. Our values promoted. Our future prepared. Complete educational revolution. Total academic transformation. Absolute learning reformation. We transform everything, change everything, rebuild everything, from foundation up, from ground level, from basic principles, no Western models, no foreign templates, no external blueprints, our design, our construction, our future. Then I address the fundamental power shift. Africa no longer accepts Western dominance. Africa no longer tolerates foreign exploitation. Africa no longer permits external control. Complete power reversal. Total relationship transformation. Absolute dynamic change. You dominated us for centuries through military force, exploited us for generations through economic manipulation, controlled us for decades through political interference. That era ends permanently. That dominance terminates completely. That control stops absolutely, forever, permanently, finally. I revealed the new reality. Africa controls 30% of world's mineral resources. Africa possesses 60% of world's arable land. Africa contains 40% of world's gold reserves. Africa holds 90% of world's platinum. Africa owns 80% of world's coltan. Africa has 50% of world's cobalt. We have everything. You need everything. Power dynamic reversed. You need our resources for your industries, need our minerals for your technology, need our land for your food, need our wealth for your prosperity. You need us. We don't need you. Power shifted. Relationship transformed. Reality changed. Permanently. I showed what this means. Western industries depend on African resources. Technology sector needs our coltan. Automotive industry needs our cobalt. Jewelry industry needs our gold. Manufacturing sector needs our platinum. Everything you build, everything you make, everything you produce depends on us, requires our resources, needs our cooperation. We control your access now. We price our resources. We set our terms. We dictate our conditions. You accept or you suffer. You comply or you collapse. You cooperate or you fail. Our resources, our power, our control. Then I announced the pricing revolution. All African resources repriced, fair value established, market manipulation ended, exploitation terminated. New pricing structure: gold, $3,400 per ounce, platinum, $2,100 per ounce, coltan, $680 per kilogram, cobalt, $95 per kilogram, diamonds, fair market value, oil, $140 per barrel. Everything repriced, everything revalued, everything corrected. You paid us poverty prices for decades, manipulated markets to keep prices low, exploited our weakness to maintain your wealth. That ends today. We price fairly, we value correctly, we charge appropriately. Our resources, our prices, our wealth. Western nations protested immediately. These prices are unreasonable. I responded directly. Your exploitation was unreasonable. Our prices are justice. They threatened boycotts. I showed alternatives. China pays our prices. Russia pays our prices. India pays our prices. You pay or you lose access. Your choice. They chose to pay, had no choice. Industries depend on our resources. Technology requires our minerals. Manufacturing needs our materials. Everything depends on Africa. Everyone needs our cooperation. All must accept our terms. You have no leverage anymore, no control anymore, no power anymore. We have resources, we have unity, we have sovereignty. You need us, we don't need you. Simple reality. Clear truth, obvious fact. I revealed the economic impact. African economies growing 8% annually. Continental GDP increasing $340 billion yearly. National revenues doubling within 5 years. Everything improving. Everyone benefiting, all prospering, our resources, our wealth, our prosperity. We keep our wealth now, invest in ourselves, develop our nations, build our infrastructure, educate our children, heal our sick, house our people. Everything we couldn't do under your control, everything you prevented through exploitation, everything we achieved through sovereignty. Then I addressed Western decline, your economy struggling without cheap African resources, your industries suffering without exploited minerals, your prosperity declining without stolen wealth. Everything you built on our exploitation, everything you maintained through our poverty, everything collapsing without our submission. Your prosperity was built on our poverty, your wealth extracted from our resources, your development financed by our exploitation. That system ends, that prosperity declines, that wealth diminishes permanently. I showed the projections: Western GDP growth declining 2 to 3% annually, industrial output falling 15% within 5 years, technology sector contracting 20% within decade. Everything declining, everyone suffering, all struggling, your exploitation ending, our sovereignty beginning, reality correcting. You face consequences now: economic consequences, industrial consequences, prosperity consequences. Everything you inflicted on us for centuries, everything you imposed through exploitation, everything returning to you through justice. Then I revealed the alliance expansion: 54 African nations unified completely, BRICS nations supporting fully, China cooperating extensively, Russia partnering comprehensively, India engaging substantially, Global South aligning totally, majority of world's population supporting African sovereignty, majority of world's resources controlled by allied nations, majority of world's future determined by our cooperation. We're not alone. We're not isolated. We're not weak. We have allies, we have partners, we have friends. 54 African nations, 5 BRICS countries, dozens of Global South allies, billions of people, trillions in resources, unstoppable momentum. I showed the coordination: regular summit meetings, continuous diplomatic engagement, ongoing economic cooperation, joint development projects, shared technology initiatives, collective security arrangements. Everything coordinated, everyone cooperating, all unified, against Western dominance, against foreign exploitation, against external control. We coordinate everything now, share everything, support everything: technology transfer from China, energy cooperation with Russia, manufacturing partnership with India, investment from Brazil, diplomatic support from South Africa. Everything coordinated, everyone contributing, all unified. Western nations responded with sanctions, economic restrictions, trade limitations, financial penalties, political pressure, diplomatic isolation attempts. Everything expected, nothing effective. Nothing working, nothing succeeding. You imposed sanctions, we bypassed them through allied trade. You restricted trade, we redirected through partner nations. You applied financial penalties, we used alternative payment systems. You pressured politically, we ignored completely. You attempted isolation, we expanded cooperation. Your sanctions failed, your pressure failed, your attempts failed, completely. I revealed alternative systems: African-Chinese payment system, continental Russian energy cooperation, Alliance Indian manufacturing partnership, BRICS Development Bank, Global South Trade Network. Everything bypassing Western control, everything avoiding Western interference, everything succeeding independently. We don't use your SWIFT system anymore, don't trade in your currencies, don't follow your regulations, don't accept your control. We built alternatives, we use alternatives. We succeed through alternatives. Your system's irrelevant, your control meaningless, your power gone. Then I addressed the UN directly. This institution failed Africa, maintained colonial power structures, perpetuated Western dominance, enabled systematic exploitation, protected foreign interests, ignored African sovereignty for 70 years, consistently, deliberately, completely. This institution gave permanent Security Council seats to colonial powers, gave veto power to exploiting nations, gave decision authority to dominating countries. Africa, 54 nations, 1.4 billion people, 0 permanent seats, 0 veto power, 0 real authority. This structure is injustice. This system is exploitation. This institution is failure. I announced African demands: Security Council restructuring, permanent African seats, continental veto power, equal representation, fair authority, proportional influence, or Africa withdraws, 54 nations. Complete withdrawal, total departure, permanent exit. You restructure or we leave. You reform or we exit. You change or we abandon. Your choice, simple choice, clear choice, final choice. We give you 6 months. Restructure Security Council. Grant African seats. Provide veto power, or we withdraw, all 54 nations, simultaneously, permanently, finally. The threat is real. Africa leaving UN means 28% of membership gone, means 30% of resources controlled by non-members, means 20% of world's population outside your institution, means UN legitimacy destroyed, means international system collapsed, means global order ended. You need us more than we need you. You need our membership for legitimacy, need our resources for relevance, need our participation for credibility. We don't need your institution. Don't need your approval. Don't need your recognition. We have sovereignty. We have independence. We have freedom, with or without UN. I revealed the alternative. African Continental Organization, independent institution, sovereign structure, complete autonomy, no Western control, no foreign interference, no external manipulation. Our organization, our rules, our decisions. We build our own institution if necessary, create our own structure if required, establish our own system if needed. No Western involvement, no foreign participation, no external influence. Purely African, completely sovereign, totally independent. Then I address the personal transformation. I am not diplomat. I am soldier. I don't negotiate weakness. I demand justice. I don't accept exploitation. I fight oppression. I don't tolerate domination. I destroy colonialism. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my mission. I fought 3 coups to protect sovereignty, dismantled spy networks to ensure security, rejected debt to achieve freedom, nationalized resources to control wealth, expelled foreign troops to establish independence, united continent to create power. This is my record. This is my achievement. This is my legacy. I showed the results. Burkina Faso, GDP growing 12% annually, poverty declining 8% yearly, education expanding 15% annually, healthcare improving 20% yearly, infrastructure developing 25% yearly, everything improving, everyone benefiting, all prospering through sovereignty, through independence, through freedom. My nation proves what's possible, shows what sovereignty achieves, demonstrates what freedom delivers. Other nations see results, other leaders follow example, other peoples demand change. Continental transformation beginning, regional revolution spreading, global shift starting. I revealed the continental impact. 54 nations implementing similar policies, all rejecting debt, all nationalizing resources, all expelling foreign troops, all establishing sovereignty, complete continental transformation, total regional revolution, absolute global shift. What I achieved in Burkina Faso, Africa achieves continentally. What I demonstrated nationally, continent demonstrates regionally. What I proved locally, Africa proves globally. Sovereignty works. Independence succeeds. Freedom delivers. Proven, demonstrated, achieved. Then I issued the final declaration. Africa will never kneel again, never accept exploitation, never tolerate domination, never permit control, never submit to pressure, never surrender sovereignty, never abandon independence, never compromise freedom, never, again, ever. We stood up permanently. We declared independence completely. We claimed sovereignty totally. We seized freedom absolutely. We will never kneel, never bow, never submit, never surrender, never compromise, never retreat, never stop, never, again, ever. I looked directly at cameras, spoke to entire world, made declaration heard globally. This is not negotiation. This is announcement. This is not request. This is declaration. This is not proposal. This is reality. Africa is sovereign. Africa is independent. Africa is free, permanently, completely, absolutely. I detailed what this means practically. Every Western corporation, negotiate new terms or leave. Every foreign military, withdraw immediately or face expulsion. Every international institution, reform completely or lose African participation. Every exploiting nation, accept justice or face consequences. Everyone, everything, everywhere. No exceptions. No compromises. No negotiations. You have 6 months to adjust, 6 months to accept, 6 months to comply. After that, consequences. Severe consequences. Permanent consequences. Absolute consequences. Your corporations expelled, your access denied, your influence eliminated, your control destroyed. Everything you built on exploitation, everything you maintained through domination, everything you protected through pressure, gone, eliminated, destroyed, permanently. I showed the timeline. Month 1, debt repudiation complete. Month 2, resource nationalization finished. Month 3, military expulsions concluded. Month 4, technology independence established. Month 5, education transformation completed. Month 6, complete sovereignty achieved. Everything executed, everything accomplished, everything delivered. On schedule, on target, on mission. We execute everything systematically, accomplish everything methodically, deliver everything completely. No delays, no excuses, no failures, just execution, just accomplishment, just delivery, guaranteed. Then I addressed Western response predictions. You will threaten sanctions, we will ignore them. You will impose restrictions, we will bypass them. You will apply pressure, we will resist it. You will attempt sabotage, we will prevent it. You will organize opposition, we will crush it. You will try everything, we will overcome everything. You will fail, completely, permanently, absolutely. I know your playbook, studied your methods, understand your tactics, prepared for everything, defended against everything, ready for everything. You have no surprises, no secret weapons, no hidden strategies, just predictable responses, just expected reactions, just anticipated opposition, all prepared for, all defended against, all overcome already. I revealed our preparations. Continental Counterintelligence Network detecting all Western operations. Alliance military cooperation preventing all foreign intervention. Economic partnerships bypassing all Western sanctions. Technology independence avoiding all external control. Complete preparation. Total readiness. Absolute defense. Let me detail exactly what we built, what we prepared, what we deployed. Over 5 years, systematically, secretly, successfully. Continental Counterintelligence Network spans 54 nations, 12,000 trained officers, $8 billion invested. Advanced surveillance technology, sophisticated analysis systems, real-time coordination platforms, everything integrated, everything connected, everything operational. We detect every Western spy, every foreign agent, every external operative. The moment they enter Africa, the moment they begin operations, the moment they threaten our sovereignty, we know who they are, we know what they're doing, we know who they contact. We track everything, we monitor everything, we document everything. CIA operations in Africa. We identified 340 active officers, mapped their networks, documented their assets, tracked their activities, continuously, systematically, completely. MI6 presence across continent. We located 180 operatives, monitored their movements, recorded their communications, analyzed their operations. Everything known, everything tracked, everything documented. French intelligence throughout former colonies. We exposed 420 agents, identified their collaborators, disrupted their activities, neutralized their effectiveness. Completely, permanently, absolutely. Mossad operations we already destroyed. 47 facilities closed. 43 operatives imprisoned. 217 collaborators executed or jailed. Complete dismantlement. Total elimination. Permanent destruction. Every Western intelligence service operating in Africa. We know them. We watch them. We counter them. They cannot operate freely. Cannot recruit easily. Cannot succeed regularly. We're watching. We're waiting. We're ready. Always. Alliance military cooperation operational. Established 2021. 4 years functioning. Growing stronger. Expanding capabilities. Increasing coordination. Unified command structure created. Continental Defense Headquarters. Ouagadougou. My capital. African leadership. Regional control. Complete sovereignty. Combined forces. 2.4 million soldiers. From participating nations. Trained together. Equipped similarly. Coordinated completely. Shared intelligence systems. Real-time information sharing. Instant threat assessment. Immediate response coordination. Everything connected. Everything integrated. Everything unified. Joint training exercises conducted quarterly. Rotating locations. Different scenarios. Various challenges. Building capability. strengthening cooperation, ensuring readiness, interoperable communications established, same frequencies, same encryption, same protocols, instant communication, immediate coordination, perfect integration, collective defense agreements signed. Immediate coordination, perfect integration, collective defense agreements signed. Attack on one is attack on all. Response from all is guaranteed. Automatic, immediate, overwhelming. No nation stands alone. No country fights alone. No people defend alone. Continental unity. Regional solidarity, complete cooperation. Military equipment standardized where possible. Common calibers, shared logistics, integrated supply chains, efficiency, effectiveness, sustainability, indigenous arms production expanding. African factories, African workers, African technology, reducing foreign dependency, increasing self-reliance, achieving independence in weapons, in ammunition, in equipment, everything. Joint air defense network operational, radar systems integrated, communication networks unified, response procedures coordinated, continental airspace protected, regional skies defended. African sovereignty secured. From above. Naval cooperation increasing, shared patrols, coordinated operations, integrated planning, protecting coastlines, securing waters, defending resources, African seas, African control, African sovereignty, cyber defense capabilities developed, African cyber command, continental coordination, unified response, protecting networks, defending systems, securing infrastructure, digital sovereignty, technological independence, complete protection. We prevent all foreign intervention, not through weakness, through strength, not through submission, through deterrence, not through dependence, through capability. Any foreign military intervention faces 2.4 million soldiers, unified command, coordinated response, continental resistance, immediate mobilization, overwhelming force, guaranteed. Any attempt at regime change encounters, intelligence networks detecting planning, counterintelligence disrupting preparation, military forces ready for resistance, population prepared for defense. Continental support guaranteed, success impossible. Any foreign aggression triggers, alliance-wide response, all participating nations mobilizing, complete continental resistance, international condemnation, global South support, diplomatic isolation of aggressor, automatic, immediate, certain. We're not threatening, we're stating reality, we're not bluffing. We're demonstrating capability, we're not hoping, we're guaranteeing, through preparation, through readiness, through strength. Economic partnerships bypass all Western sanctions, established over 5 years, systematically, strategically, successfully. BRICS partnerships formalized. China, $340 billion annual trade, growing, expanding, deepening. Russia, $89 billion annual trade, increasing, strengthening, diversifying. India, $67 billion annual trade, developing, expanding, flourishing. Brazil, $23 billion annual trade, growing, strengthening, promising. South Africa, $45 billion annual trade, regional, continental, integrated. Alternative payment systems operational, not using dollars, not using SWIFT, not using Western infrastructure, using Chinese systems, using Russian platforms, using independent networks, bypassing Western control, avoiding American sanctions, escaping European restrictions, completely. Trade agreements signed with non-Western partners. Iran, oil and technology exchange. Venezuela, resource cooperation. Cuba, healthcare and education partnership. North Korea, mineral trade agreements. Syria, reconstruction cooperation. Belarus, industrial partnerships. Everyone sanctioned by West. Everyone needing alternatives. Everyone finding partners. In Africa, in us, in our markets. Regional economic integration accelerating. African Continental Free Trade Area operational. $3.4 trillion market. 1.4 billion consumers. Enormous potential. Intra-African trade increasing. From 16% to 34% in 5 years. Doubling, growing, expanding, reducing Western dependency, increasing African cooperation. Strengthening continental unity, continental supply chains developing, African production, African consumption, African prosperity, reducing imports, increasing self-reliance, achieving independence, economically, resource processing domestically, not exporting raw materials, processing locally, adding value domestically, keeping wealth continentally, creating jobs, generating revenue, building prosperity. Here, in Africa, for Africans, manufacturing capacity expanding, African factories, African workers, African products, reducing imports, increasing exports, improving trade balance, building economy, creating prosperity, securing future. Technology independence achieved, not completely, but substantially, not perfectly, but significantly, not totally, but meaningfully. Progress made, capability built, independence growing. African Technology Initiative operational. $120 billion invested. Continental coordination, regional cooperation, national implementation, indigenous innovation prioritized, African engineers, African scientists, African researchers, solving African problems, creating African solutions, building African future. Satellite systems launched, 3 operational satellites, African-owned, African-controlled, African-operated, providing communications, enabling internet, supporting navigation, independence, sovereignty, control, internet infrastructure built, fiber optic networks, data centers, server farms, African infrastructure, African control, African sovereignty. Not dependent on Western cables, not reliant on foreign servers, not controlled by external powers, independent. Software development advancing, African programmers, African companies, African solutions, operating systems, applications, platforms, everything, reducing foreign dependency. Increasing local capability, building independence, hardware manufacturing beginning, assembly plants, component production, device manufacturing, African factories, African workers, African products, starting, growing, expanding, toward independence. Telecommunications sovereignty achieved, African networks, African companies, African control, not foreign monopolies, not Western corporations, not external control, our networks, our companies, our control, completely, digital payment systems operational, African platforms, African technology, African control, not Visa, not MasterCard, not Western systems, our systems, our technology, our control, independence, sovereignty, freedom. We prepared for 5 years, planned for every contingency, ready for every response. You cannot surprise us, cannot overwhelm us, cannot defeat us. We know everything, we prepared everything. We will overcome everything, guaranteed. 5 years of preparation, 2020 to 2025. Systematic preparation, comprehensive planning, complete readiness, every contingency considered, military intervention, economic warfare, cyber attacks, assassination attempts, coup plotting, sabotage operations, everything, every scenario analyzed, every response planned, every countermeasure prepared. Nothing surprises us, nothing catches us unprepared, nothing defeats us. We know everything, through intelligence networks spanning 54 nations, through surveillance systems monitoring every communication, through monitoring operations tracking every movement, Western plans discovered before execution, foreign operations detected before implementation, external threats identified before materialization, all detected through continental coordination, all tracked through unified systems, all countered through collective response. We prepared everything over 5 years of systematic work, military forces trained and positioned strategically, economic alternatives established and functioning independently, technology systems built and operating autonomously, political unity achieved through continental cooperation, popular support secured through demonstrated results, everything ready for any contingency, everything operational at this moment, everything functioning perfectly and permanently. We will overcome everything that threatens our sovereignty, every threat through early detection, every challenge through coordinated response, every attack through unified defense, through preparation that anticipated every scenario, through capability that matches every challenge, through determination that accepts no defeat, guaranteed by our track record, certain through our demonstrated success, absolute in our continental commitment. Then I made personal promise, personal commitment, individual guarantee, not just government policy, not just national strategy, not just continental plan, personal promise, my commitment, my guarantee. I will defend African sovereignty with my life, not with words, with life, not symbolically, literally, not theoretically, actually, my life, everything, completely. I will protect African independence with everything. Everything I have, everything I am, everything I control, my position, my power, my influence, my resources, my capabilities, my life, everything for African independence, for continental sovereignty, for our freedom. I will ensure African freedom permanently, not temporarily, permanently, not conditionally, absolutely, not partially, completely. African freedom, continental liberation, regional independence, permanent, lasting, eternal. I will fight any threat, every threat, all threats, foreign aggression, economic warfare, political subversion, cultural imperialism, everything threatening, everything dangerous, everything hostile. I fight, I resist, I overcome. I will destroy any opposition to African sovereignty, any challenge to continental independence, any threat to our freedom, destroyed, eliminated, crushed, completely, permanently, absolutely. I will overcome any obstacle to liberation, any barrier to independence, any impediment to sovereignty. Overcome, surpassed, defeated. Nothing stops me, nothing deters me, nothing defeats me. I will never surrender. Never, under any circumstances, under any pressure, under any threat. Never surrender, never submit, never capitulate, never retreat, never withdraw. Never abandon, never give up, never stop fighting, never cease resisting, never end struggling, never compromise, never negotiate away sovereignty, never trade independence, never sell freedom, never accept less, never settle for partial, never agree to conditional, never stop, never pause, never rest, until victory, until liberation, until freedom, complete. Until Africa is completely free, not partially, completely, not conditionally, absolutely, not temporarily, permanently, free from foreign control, free from external domination, free from Western exploitation, completely free, totally sovereign, absolutely independent, forever, permanently, eternally. This is my mission, this is my commitment, this is my promise to Africa, to our people, to our future. I will fight until victory is complete, until sovereignty is absolute, until freedom is permanent, until independence is guaranteed, until exploitation is ended, until domination is destroyed, until colonialism is eliminated, forever, permanently, completely. This is my mission, not job, mission, not position, calling, not career, purpose, life mission, existence purpose, everything I do, everything I am, everything I fight for. African liberation, continental sovereignty, regional independence. This is my commitment, binding commitment, permanent commitment, absolute commitment to Africa, to our continent, to our people, to our nations, to our future, to our children, to our grandchildren, to generations unborn. My commitment, my promise, my guarantee. This is my promise, sacred promise, unbreakable promise, eternal promise to Africa, to every African, to every nation, to every people, to every person. My promise, given publicly, stated clearly, committed permanently. I will fight until victory is complete, total victory, complete victory, absolute victory, not partial success, complete victory, not conditional achievement, absolute victory, not temporary gain, permanent victory, until sovereignty is absolute, complete sovereignty, total sovereignty, absolute sovereignty. No foreign control, no external influence, no Western domination, nothing, absolute sovereignty. Until freedom is permanent, lasting freedom, eternal freedom, permanent freedom, not temporary liberation, permanent freedom, not conditional independence, absolute freedom, not partial sovereignty, complete freedom, forever, until independence is guaranteed, certain independence, assured independence, guaranteed independence, no threats, no challenges, no dangers, Just independence, secure, certain, guaranteed. Until exploitation is ended, completely ended, totally ended, absolutely ended. Economic exploitation, resource extraction, wealth theft, all ended, finished, terminated, forever. Until domination is destroyed, foreign domination, Western domination, imperial domination, all destroyed, eliminated, crushed, completely, until colonialism is eliminated, every form, every manifestation, every remnant, political colonialism, economic colonialism, cultural colonialism, mental colonialism, everything, eliminated, destroyed, ended, forever, permanently, completely. I showed my track record, proven record, demonstrated record, verified record, not promises, achievements, not intentions, results, not plans, accomplishments, 3 coups defeated. First coup, September 2022, defeated. Second coup, January 2023, crushed. Third coup, June 2023, destroyed. All defeated, all crushed, all eliminated, completely. Spy network destroyed. Mossad network, 47 facilities closed, 43 operatives imprisoned. Complete destruction. CIA network, 17 operatives expelled. Operations disrupted. Presence reduced. French network, hundreds arrested, dozens expelled. Control eliminated, all destroyed, all dismantled, all eliminated. Debt rejected, IMF debt, $847 million, rejected. World Bank debt, $1.2 billion, repudiated. Bilateral debt, $340 million, eliminated. Total, $2.387 billion. All rejected, all repudiated, all eliminated, completely. Resources nationalized, gold mines nationalized, foreign companies expelled, African control, oil fields nationalized, Western corporations removed, national ownership, mineral deposits nationalized, external exploitation ended, sovereign control, everything nationalized, everything controlled, everything owned, by us, by Burkina Faso, by Africa. Troops expelled, French forces expelled, bases closed, presence terminated, U.S. military removed, facilities shut, operations ended, all foreign troops expelled, all foreign bases closed, all foreign presence eliminated completely, sovereignty established, political sovereignty achieved, economic sovereignty secured, military sovereignty guaranteed, complete sovereignty, total independence, absolute freedom, everything promised, every commitment, every guarantee, every pledge, everything delivered, every promise kept, every commitment fulfilled, every guarantee honored, everything achieved, every goal reached, every objective accomplished, every target met. My word is proven, through actions, through results, through achievements, proven, demonstrated, verified. My commitment is demonstrated, not claimed, demonstrated, not asserted, shown, not declared, proven, through history, through record, through achievements. My promise is guaranteed, not hoped, guaranteed, not intended, assured, not planned, certain, through track record, through demonstrated capability, through proven commitment. I delivered everything I promised Burkina Faso. I will deliver everything I promise Africa. I said we would be free. We are free. I said we would be sovereign. We are sovereign. I said we would be independent. We are independent. Everything promised. Everything delivered. Everything achieved. Always. I delivered everything to Burkina Faso. Every promise, every commitment, every guarantee. Not some promises, all promises. Not most commitments, every commitment. Not partial guarantees. Complete guarantees. Everything. Sovereignty promised. During campaign, during speeches, during rallies, before power, before position, before presidency. Sovereignty delivered. After taking power, after establishing control, after securing position, delivered, achieved, secured, independence promised to our people, to our nation, to our future. Independence achieved through struggle, through sacrifice, through determination, achieved, won, secured, freedom promised. From colonialism, from imperialism, from exploitation, freedom secured, through resistance, through defiance, through victory, secured, guaranteed, permanent, everything. I will deliver everything to Africa, not just Burkina Faso, Africa, not just one nation, continent, not just my country, our continent, same commitment, identical commitment, equal commitment, absolute commitment, same determination, unwavering determination, unbreakable determination, permanent determination, same success, proven success, demonstrated success, guaranteed success, everything promised, every commitment made, every guarantee given, every pledge declared, everything delivered, every promise kept, every commitment fulfilled, every guarantee honored, everything achieved, every goal reached, every objective accomplished, every target met, guaranteed, certain, absolute. I said we would be free, long before, years before, decades before taking power, before position, before presidency, before power. I said it, publicly, clearly, repeatedly, to everyone, to our people, to our nation, to our continent, to the world. I promised it solemnly, seriously, permanently. Not empty promise, not political rhetoric, not campaign slogan. Real promise, binding promise, sacred promise. I committed to it, completely, totally, absolutely, with everything, with my life, with my future, with my existence, committed, dedicated, devoted. We are free, not becoming free, are free, not moving toward freedom, have freedom, not approaching liberation, are liberated, now, today, currently, this moment, this day, this reality, from foreign control, from external domination, from Western exploitation, from IMF dictation, from World Bank manipulation, from colonial interference, from imperial pressure, from everything enslaving, from everything controlling, from everything dominating, free, liberated, independent, completely, totally, absolutely. I said we would be sovereign. I promised sovereignty, complete sovereignty, total sovereignty, absolute sovereignty. I committed to independence, real independence, genuine independence, permanent independence. I guaranteed freedom, complete freedom, total freedom, absolute freedom, not partial, not conditional, not temporary, complete, total, absolute, permanent. We are sovereign, not becoming sovereign, are sovereign, not moving toward sovereignty, have sovereignty, not approaching independence, are independent, now, today, actually, right now. This moment, this reality, political sovereignty, making our own decisions, setting our own policies, determining our own future without external interference, without foreign dictation, without Western control, sovereign, economic sovereignty, controlling our resources, managing our wealth, directing our development, without IMF interference, without World Bank manipulation, without Western exploitation, sovereign, military sovereignty, defending our territory, protecting our people, securing our borders, without foreign troops, without external bases, without Western military, sovereign, complete sovereignty, total sovereignty, absolute sovereignty, in everything, in every aspect, in every dimension. I said we would be independent, years ago, before power, before presidency, before position. I said it. I promised it. I guaranteed it. I promised independence, real independence, complete independence, absolute independence. I guaranteed liberation, total liberation, permanent liberation, eternal liberation, from everything enslaving, from everything controlling, from everything dominating, liberation, freedom, independence. We are independent, not becoming independent, are independent, not moving toward independence, have independence, not approaching freedom, are free, now, today, really, actually, genuinely, from IMF, from their loans, from their conditions, from their control, independent, from World Bank, from their programs, from their requirements, from their manipulation, independent, from Western control, from their pressure, from their interference, from their domination, independent, completely, totally, absolutely, in everything, in every way, in every aspect, everything promised, every single promise, every commitment made, every guarantee given, every pledge declared, every vow stated, every oath sworn, everything, all of it, without exception. Everything delivered, every promise kept, every commitment fulfilled, every guarantee honored, every pledge completed, every vow maintained, every oath upheld, everything, all of it, without exception. Everything achieved, every goal reached, every objective accomplished, every target met, every aim fulfilled, every purpose completed, every mission accomplished, everything, all of it, without exception. Always, every time, every instance, every occasion, every situation, every circumstance, every challenge, always delivered, always achieved, always succeeded, without exception. Never failed, never faltered, never compromised, without failure, never broken promise, never unfulfilled commitment, never dishonored guarantee, never incomplete achievement, never partial success, never conditional victory, without compromise, never negotiated away sovereignty, never traded independence, never sold freedom, never accepted less, never settled for partial, never agreed to conditional. Then I concluded with absolute declaration, final declaration, ultimate declaration, permanent declaration, not preliminary statement, not opening remark, not initial comment, final declaration. Last word, ultimate statement, permanent truth. This is not beginning of negotiation, not opening position, not starting offer, not initial proposal, not bargaining point, not discussion starter, not negotiation beginning. This is announcement of reality, statement of fact, declaration of truth, proclamation of reality, assertion of fact, declaration of truth, established reality, accomplished fact, verified truth, proven reality, demonstrated fact, confirmed truth. This is not start of discussion, not invitation to debate, not request for dialogue, not suggestion for negotiation, not proposal for talks, not opening for conversation, not beginning of discussion. This is declaration of fact, statement of reality, announcement of truth, assertion of fact, proclamation of reality, declaration of truth, completed fact, established reality, absolute truth, finished fact, secured reality, permanent truth. This is not proposal for consideration, not suggestion for evaluation, not recommendation for assessment, not option for review, not alternative for examination, not possibility for analysis, not proposal for anything. This is statement of truth, declaration of reality, announcement of fact, assertion of truth, proclamation of reality, declaration of fact, absolute truth, complete reality, total fact, permanent truth, eternal reality, unchangeable fact. Africa is sovereign now, not becoming sovereign, not moving towards sovereignty, not approaching independence, is sovereign, has sovereignty, possesses independence, now, today, currently, this moment, this day, this reality, not future, not tomorrow, not someday, now, today, currently. Africa is independent now, not will be independent, not becoming independent, not moving toward independence, is independent, has independence, possesses freedom, now, today, actually, this moment, this day, this reality, not future, not tomorrow, not someday, now, today, actually. Africa is free now, not will be free, not becoming free, not moving toward freedom, is free, has freedom, possesses liberation, now, today, really, this moment, this day, this reality, not future, not tomorrow, not someday, now, today, really, permanently, not temporarily, not conditionally, not provisionally, permanently, forever, eternally, for all time, for all future, for all eternity, not temporarily, not for now, not for moment, not for period, permanently, forever, eternally, always, continuously, endlessly, not conditionally, not if something, not unless something, not provided something, unconditionally, absolutely, completely, without conditions, without requirements, without provisions, not partially, not somewhat, not mostly, not largely, completely, totally, entirely, wholly, absolutely, utterly, completely, not partially, not incompletely, not somewhat, completely, totally, entirely, 100%, without exception, without limitation, not partially, not somewhat, not mostly, completely, every aspect, every dimension, every element, not mostly, not largely, not generally, entirely, completely, totally, without exception, without exclusion, without limitation, not somewhat, not partially, not conditionally, totally, completely, entirely, absolutely, without qualification, without reservation, absolutely, not relatively, not comparatively, not conditionally, absolutely, completely, totally, without comparison, without condition, without qualification, not relatively, not compared to something, not relative to something, absolutely, in absolute terms, in complete terms, in total terms, not comparatively, not better than, not more than, absolutely, independently, completely, without comparison, without relation, without reference, not conditionally, not if something, not provided something, not assuming something, unconditionally, absolutely, completely, without conditions, without provisions, without requirements, without assumptions, without qualifications, without reservations. We don't ask permission, don't seek approval, don't request recognition. We declare sovereignty, we establish independence, we claim freedom, done, finished, completed. You accept or you don't, you recognize or you don't, you cooperate or you don't, doesn't matter. We are sovereign regardless, we are independent regardless, we are free regardless. Your opinion is irrelevant. Your approval is unnecessary. Your recognition is meaningless. We are free, permanently. We don't ask permission from anyone, from any nation, from any power, from any authority, from any institution, from any organization, from UN, from Security Council, from international community, from Western powers, from anyone. We don't seek approval from America, from Europe, from West, from East, from anyone, from any nation, from any power, from any authority, from any institution, from any organization. We don't request recognition from UN, from Security Council, from international community, from Western powers, from Eastern powers, from anyone, from any nation, from any power. We declare sovereignty, ourselves, independently, autonomously, without permission, without approval, without recognition. We declare it, we announce it, we proclaim it. We establish independence through our actions, through our achievements, through our power, through our strength, through our determination, through our will. We establish it, we create it, we secure it, we claim freedom by right, by force, by determination, by achievement, by victory, by conquest. We claim it, we take it, we secure it, done, accomplished, achieved, completed, secured, established, finished, ended, concluded, finalized, permanent, eternal, completed, totally completed, absolutely completed, permanently completed, established, firmly established, permanently established, eternally established, permanent, forever permanent, absolutely permanent, eternally permanent. You accept or you don't. Your choice, your decision, your option, your preference, your selection makes no difference. Changes nothing, affects nothing, alters nothing, doesn't change reality, doesn't affect truth, doesn't alter fact, doesn't modify reality, doesn't transform truth, doesn't adjust fact. You recognize or you don't. Your choice, your decision, your option, your preference, your selection makes no difference, changes nothing, affects nothing, alters nothing, doesn't change sovereignty, doesn't affect independence, doesn't alter freedom, doesn't modify sovereignty, doesn't transform independence, doesn't adjust freedom. You cooperate or you don't. Your choice, your decision, your option, your preference, your selection makes no difference, changes nothing, affects nothing, alters nothing. Doesn't matter, doesn't count, doesn't signify, doesn't mean anything, doesn't change anything, doesn't affect anything, changes nothing, modifies nothing, transforms nothing, adjusts nothing, alters nothing, affects nothing, influences nothing, impacts nothing, matters not. We are sovereign regardless, with your acceptance or without it, with your recognition or without it, with your cooperation or without it, with or without anything from you. Sovereign, independent, free, always, permanently, eternally. We are independent regardless of your opinion, of your approval, of your recognition, of your acceptance, of your cooperation, of anything from you. Independent, sovereign, free, always, continuously, permanently. We are free regardless of your acceptance, of your cooperation, of your support, of your recognition, of your approval, of anything from you. Free, independent, sovereign, always, forever, eternally. Your opinion is irrelevant, doesn't matter, doesn't count, doesn't signify, doesn't mean anything, doesn't change anything, doesn't affect anything, has no impact, has no influence, has no significance, has no meaning, has no value, has no importance, irrelevant, meaningless, insignificant. Your approval is unnecessary. Don't need it. Don't want it. Don't require it. Don't seek it. Don't desire it. Don't request it. Unnecessary, unneeded, unwanted, unrequired, unsought, undesired. Your recognition is meaningless, changes nothing, affects nothing, matters not, signifies nothing, means nothing, counts for nothing, meaningless, insignificant, irrelevant, unimportant, valueless, worthless. We are free, now, today, currently, this moment, this instant, this second, actually, really, genuinely, truly, authentically, legitimately, permanently, forever, eternally, always, continuously, endlessly, without end, without limit, without termination. I walked away from podium, deliberately, intentionally, purposefully, with purpose, with intention, with determination, confidently, with confidence, with certainty, with assurance, with conviction, with belief, permanently, finally, conclusively, decisively, definitively, absolutely. Didn't wait for response, didn't pause for reaction, didn't hesitate for feedback, didn't stop for comment, didn't delay for reply, didn't linger for answer, didn't seek reaction, didn't want response, didn't need feedback, didn't desire comment, didn't require reply, didn't request answer, didn't expect applause, didn't anticipate recognition, didn't hope for approval, didn't desire acknowledgement, didn't seek validation, didn't want affirmation, just delivered message, clear message, direct message, unambiguous message, final message, ultimate message, permanent message, made declaration, absolute declaration, complete declaration, total declaration, final declaration, ultimate declaration, permanent declaration, announced reality, African reality, continental reality, regional reality, permanent reality, absolute reality, complete reality, then left, immediately, quickly, swiftly, rapidly, promptly, instantly, confidently, with confidence, with certainty, with assurance, with conviction, with determination, with resolve. Because sovereign nations don't wait for permission, never, not ever, not once, not under any circumstances, not in any situation, not for any reason. Independent peoples don't seek approval, never, not ever, not once, not from anyone, not from any nation, not from any power. Free continents don't request recognition, never, not ever, not once, not from any power, not from any authority, not from any institution. We just are, sovereign, independent, free, autonomous, self-governing, self-determining. We exist, we are, we live, as sovereign nations, as independent peoples, as free continents, permanently, forever, eternally, always, continuously, endlessly, for all time, for all future, for all eternity, completely, totally, entirely, wholly, absolutely, utterly, without exception, without limitation, without qualification, absolutely, completely, totally, permanently, forever, eternally. The room remained silent, complete silence, total silence, absolute silence, perfect silence, Utter silence, complete quiet, no sound, no noise, no voice, no word, no comment, no reaction, nothing. Just silence, just quiet, just stillness. Diplomat stunned, shocked, surprised, amazed, astonished, bewildered, unable to speak, unable to react, unable to respond, just stunned, just shocked, just silent, media shocked, journalists stunned, reporters surprised, cameras recording, microphones capturing, everything documenting. This moment, this declaration, this reality, everyone processing, thinking, considering, analyzing, evaluating, assessing, understanding implications, realizing consequences, recognizing transformation, comprehending change, grasping reality, accepting truth. Everything changed, everything transformed, everything revolutionized, everything different, everything new, everything permanent, permanently, forever, eternally, for all time, for all future, for all history, irreversibly, unchangeably, permanently, cannot be reversed, cannot be undone, cannot be changed, cannot be modified, cannot be altered, cannot be transformed back, completely in every way imaginable and unimaginable, in every aspect political, economic, military, cultural, in every dimension visible and invisible, in every element fundamental and complex, in every component structural and functional, in everything that defines sovereignty, independence, and freedom,